Over the years, some of Hollywood's stars have been unveiled their darkest sides, caught in scandals so disturbing that even lifelong fans were left speechless. Now, these once celebrated actors aren't walking red carpets, they're serving time in cold, locked cells. What drives these individuals to embark on such a sinful path? But before we start, please subscribe to our channel, All Profiles. The truth behind Hollywood's darkest secrets awaits. First of all, Michael Jace was once a prominent Hollywood actor, renowned for his portrayal of complex and conflicted characters. His most notable role was as Los Angeles police officer Julian Lowe in the gritty FX series The Shield, where he depicted a devout yet deeply troubled man grappling with issues of duty, identity, and morality. Jace's quiet intensity and strong screen presence lent emotional depth to the character, earning him accolades from both critics and audiences. Born in 1962, Jace developed a robust career with roles in both film and television. He had a minor part in the Oscar-winning Forrest Gump 1994 and appeared in other significant films such as Boogie Nights and Planet of the Apes. However, it was his performance in The Shield in 2002 that marked his breakthrough, highlighting his skill in conveying moral dilemmas with subtlety and conviction. Despite Jace's achievements in his career, his personal life was falling apart. In 2011, he declared bankruptcy, overwhelmed by debts exceeding $500,000. At home, the financial and emotional strain intensified tensions. Tragically, on May 19, 2014, these tensions erupted into violence when Jace shot and killed his wife, April Jace, in their Los Angeles residence. Their two young children witnessed the horrific event. After making a chilling 911 call and confessing to the shooting, Jace was arrested and later charged with second-degree murder. During his 2016 trial, prosecutors emphasized a history of domestic violence, depicting the crime as both malicious and intentional. The defense argued it was an impulsive act, resulting from an emotional breakdown. The jury disagreed. Jace was found guilty and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. Once praised for his ability to portray inner turmoil on screen, he is now remembered for a tragic real-life incident that shattered a family and ended his career. His story stands as a grim reminder of how private despair and unresolved conflict can lead to irreversible outcomes. Secondly, Shelley Malil gained recognition for his role as Aziz in the 2005 comedy The 40-Year-Old Virgin, where his sharp comedic timing and quirky interactions with Steve Carell's character stood out. While his role wasn't large, it marked a significant moment in his career, contributing to the film's success. Originally from Kerala, India, and raised in Texas, Malil developed a passion for acting early on. He honed his skills in local theater before moving to Hollywood in the early 1990s. Despite the challenges Indian-American actors faced at the time, Malil managed to land supporting roles on popular TV shows like NYPD Blue, The West Wing, and Scrubs. His dedication led to his breakthrough role in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Nevertheless, Shelley Malil's once promising career was marred by a shocking act of violence. In 2008, driven by jealousy, he assaulted his ex-girlfriend, Kendra Beebe, stabbing her over 20 times in her residence. The vicious attack left Beebe with severe physical injuries and lasting psychological trauma. Witnesses recalled the chaotic scene and promptly notified authorities. Remarkably, Beebe survived, though the assault devastated her life. Malil was soon apprehended and charged with attempted premeditated murder and assault with a deadly weapon. Prosecutors presented strong evidence showing his actions were intentional and brutal, leading to his 2010 sentencing of 12 years to life in prison. This conviction ended his career and established a dark, irreversible legacy that starkly contrasts with the comedic, light-hearted image audiences once knew. As of April 2025, Shelley Malil remains incarcerated, with his brief Hollywood success overshadowed by the gravity of his crimes. Thirdly, Danny Masterson became widely known in the early 2000s for playing Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show. His sarcastic, rebellious character and deadpan humor made him a fan favorite, and the show's 8th season run solidified his place in pop culture. Born in 1976 in Long Island, Masterson began his entertainment career as a child actor in commercials before moving into television and film. He also found success as a DJ under the name DJ Mom Jeans, showcasing a different side of his personality. However, Masterson's public image later took a dark turn. In the early 2000s, multiple women accused him of sexual assault, with the incidents allegedly occurring between 2001 and 2003. These allegations resurfaced and gained traction during the #MeToo movement, drawing significant attention due to his ties with the Church of Scientology. Critics claim the organization tried to suppress the victims' voices, sparking broader conversations about systemic abuse, celebrity protection, and institutional power in Hollywood. Amidst increasing controversy, Masterson continued his Hollywood career, even featuring in Netflix's The Ranch. However, by 2017, as public pressure intensified, he was dismissed from the show. In 2020, formal charges were brought against him. Masterson insisted on his innocence, arguing that the interactions were consensual. The 2023 trial, however, presented a starkly different narrative. Heartbreaking testimonies from survivors highlighted the emotional impact of the assaults and their arduous path to justice. In May 2023, Masterson was found guilty on 2 counts. 4 months later, in September, he received a sentence of 30 years to life in prison. As of April 2025, he remains in custody, with appeals ongoing but no successful overturns. Once celebrated for his comedic roles, Danny Masterson is now at the center of one of Hollywood's most prominent abuse scandals. His case signifies a broader industry shift towards demanding accountability, regardless of a person's fame or influence. In your opinion, should Hollywood delete all of Danny Masterson's shows from streaming services? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 4. Bill Cosby. For much of the 20th century, Bill Cosby was a beloved icon in American entertainment. Born in 1937 in Philadelphia, he overcame a tough childhood and rose to fame through stand-up comedy focused on family and everyday life. He made history in 1965 as the first black actor to lead a primetime drama, I Spy, earning 3 Emmy Awards. In the 1970s and 80s, Cosby created Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, and later The Cosby Show, where his portrayal of Dr. Cliff Huxtable shaped his image as America's dad. His work helped shift narratives around race and family, making him a cultural force beyond television. However, Cosby's legacy was shattered by allegations of sexual misconduct. In 2005, Andrea Constand accused him of drugging and assaulting her, a case that was initially settled privately. But in 2014, comedian Hannibal Buress reignited public scrutiny, leading over 60 women to accuse Cosby of similar assaults. In 2015, he was charged, and in 2018, he was convicted on 3 counts of aggravated sexual assault. Seen as a turning point for the #MeToo movement, the conviction symbolized long-awaited justice. Yet, in 2021, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned the conviction due to a prior non-prosecution agreement, and Cosby was released after nearly 3 years in prison. Once a symbol of trust and integrity, Cosby is now remembered as a cautionary tale of how fame and power can conceal deep abuse and betrayal. Number 5. Joe So, born Joseph Youngmin's son on November 22, 1970, is an American who has been convicted of multiple crimes. He was once an actor, mixed martial artist, kickboxer, and professional wrestler. During his career in combat sports, he participated in the Ultimate Fighting Championship and K1 kickboxing. As an actor, he gained recognition for his role in the 1997 film Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. In 2008, Joe's son was arrested for a sexual assault that occurred in 1990 after DNA evidence linked him to the crime. He was found guilty in 2011 and received a sentence of 7 years to life in prison in California. While serving his sentence, he was convicted of killing his cellmate and received an additional 27-year sentence for voluntary manslaughter. Today, Joe's son remains incarcerated, his reputation forever tarnished. Once briefly noted for a minor role in a popular comedy, he is now recalled solely for the atrocity of his actions. Number 6. Shannon Richardson. She was once a promising actress, recognized for her minor roles in popular TV series like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. Although she never became a household name, she was gradually gaining attention in Hollywood's competitive scene of character actors. However, in a startling twist, her name became notorious for reasons far more unsettling than her acting career. In 2013, Richardson was arrested for sending letters containing ricin, a lethal toxin, to President Barack Obama, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and others. The case shocked both the public and the entertainment industry. Initially, Richardson claimed she was framed by her estranged husband, but the evidence suggested otherwise. Her fingerprints were found on the letters, and incriminating computer activity was traced back to her. By July 2014, she was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison. As of April 2025, she remains incarcerated. Once considered a rising talent, Richardson's downfall was rapid and tragic. Her story serves as a stark reminder that fame does not protect one from justice, and that the boundary between ambition and self-destruction can sometimes be alarmingly narrow. Number 7. Jeffrey John. He was a recognizable figure in films, often portraying quirky or authoritative roles that resonated with audiences. Born in 1946 in Buffalo, New York, he trained at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art before moving to film. His breakout role came in 1986 as Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He showcased his versatility as the eccentric father in Beetlejuice and collaborated with Tim Burton in films like Ed Wood and Sleepy Hollow, also earning acclaim for his role in Sub Amadeus. With his distinctive delivery and unique presence, Jones established himself as one of Hollywood's preferred character actors during the 1980s and 90s. Nevertheless, in 2002, everything took a drastic turn. Jones was arrested on charges related to inappropriate material involving a minor. The case garnered significant media attention, and by 2003 he entered a guilty plea. His punishment included 5 years of probation, mandatory counseling, and a lifetime registration as a sex offender. The repercussions were swift. Hollywood distanced itself, directors stopped reaching out, fans were stunned, and the goodwill he had accumulated over decades disappeared almost instantly. Although he managed to secure a few minor roles afterward, his career never bounced back. As of April 2025, Jones remains a disgraced figure in the film industry, a stark example of how a once celebrated career can be erased by deeply wrong decisions. Number 8. Harvey Weinstein, once a dominant force in Hollywood, now represents one of the most shocking downfalls in entertainment history. As co-founder of Miramax and the Weinstein Company, he played a crucial role in launching the careers of many actors and filmmakers, producing acclaimed films such as Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love, and The King's Speech. For years, he was regarded as a kingmaker in the industry. However, in 2017, his reputation was devastated when multiple women accused him of sexual harassment and assault allegations that had long been whispered but never fully revealed. Investigative reports in the New York Times and the New Yorker prompted over 80 women, including prominent actresses, to come forward with similar claims. These accusations ignited the global #MeToo movement, transforming the conversation around sexual abuse and accountability. In 2020, Weinstein was convicted in New York of first and third-degree criminal assault, receiving a 23-year sentence. A subsequent trial in Los Angeles in 2022 resulted in an additional 16-year sentence. As of April 2025, Weinstein remains incarcerated, facing a combined sentence of nearly 40 years. While appeals have been filed, his convictions persist. His case marks a pivotal moment in Hollywood, highlighting the dangers of power and fame and the bravery required to expose such abuses. Number 9. Stephen Collins. He built a long-standing Hollywood career portraying calm, moral, and trustworthy characters. Born in 1947 in Des Moines, Iowa, he trained in acting from a young age and worked across theater, television, and film. His versatility showed in roles from Star Trek, the motion picture, to comedies like The First Wives Club, but he became most known for playing Reverend Eric Camden in Seventh Heaven. For 11 seasons, Stephen Collins portrayed a compassionate minister and father, earning admiration as a symbol of family values and moral guidance. However, that image was destroyed in 2014 when a leaked audio tape revealed Collins admitting to sexual misconduct with 3 underage girls during the 1970s and 90s. Although he confessed, no charges were filed due to the statute of limitations. The backlash was immediate. TV networks dropped Seventh Heaven, and Collins' acting career came to a halt. His public apology did little to repair the damage. In March 2025, the docu-series Hollywood Demons revisited the case, featuring testimony from victims like April Price. Once revered for his roles as a moral figure, Collins is now remembered for the serious misconduct that overshadowed his legacy. Number 10. Skylar DeLeon, born on August 12, 1979, in Sun Valley, California, was once a child actor with aspirations for Hollywood fame. His brief role in the iconic series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ignited hopes for a promising career in entertainment. However, his career quickly waned, and he faced rejection, financial struggles, and personal setbacks, leading to a dark and tragic path. By the early 2000s, DeLeon was in dire need of money and purpose. In 2004, he masterminded one of California's most shocking crimes. Together with his wife Jennifer Henderson and accomplices John Fitzgerald Kennedy and Alonzo McChain, DeLeon targeted Thomas and Jackie Hawks, a retired couple selling their yacht, well-deserved. Posing as potential buyers, the group enticed the Hawks to sail out to sea. Once there, in a horrifying and premeditated move, they coerced the couple into transferring ownership of the yacht, then tied them to an anchor and threw them overboard alive. Their bodies were never recovered. The crime shocked the community. The Hawks were well loved, and their sudden disappearance deeply troubled investigators. When the truth emerged, the sheer brutality of the murders astonished the nation. De Leon was arrested and sentenced to death in 2008 for the double homicide. His accomplices received similarly severe punishments. Once a hopeful actor, Skylar De Leon is now infamous for his cruelty. As of April 2025, he remains on death row in California. Number 11. Josh Duggar, born in 1988 as the eldest son of James Robert and Michelle Duggar, gained fame as a star of the reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting. Raised in a strict Christian fundamentalist household, he became a prominent figure representing the Duggar family's ultra-conservative lifestyle. For years, Josh appeared on the family's TLC show, which highlighted their daily life and religious values. Off-screen, he worked as a lobbyist for the Family Research Council, a conservative advocacy group. However, in 2015, his image shattered when reports emerged that he had molested several underage girls, including some of his sisters, during his teenage years. Although his family and local authorities were aware of the incidents, they remained unaddressed until revealed by the media. This scandal led to the cancellation of 19 Kids and Counting, and Josh resigned from his political role. Later that year, it was disclosed that he had accounts on the adultery site Ashley Madison, admitting to infidelity with his wife, Anna Duggar. He subsequently entered rehab for a pornography addiction. In 2021, Josh faced serious legal issues when arrested on federal charges of receiving and possessing child pornography, described by prosecutors as some of the worst material they had encountered. He was found guilty in December 2021, with overwhelming evidence against him. In May 2022, he was sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in federal prison, followed by 20 years of supervised release, currently serving at FCIC Goville in Texas. His downfall is seen as a shocking instance of hypocrisy in reality television. Number 12. Ryan Grantham, once a promising Canadian actor born in 1998, gained early fame with roles in shows like Supernatural, iZombie, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. His performance as Jeffrey Augustine on Riverdale marked a career highlight. However, behind his rising success, Grantham was struggling with severe mental health issues, including depression and suicidal thoughts. His behavior grew more erratic, and he became increasingly isolated. Despite signs of distress, those around him couldn't predict the tragic direction his life would eventually take. Number 13. Amy Locane, once a promising actress best known for her role as Sandy Harling on Melrose Place, shocked the public when her name became associated with a deadly driving under the influence incident in 2010. What started as an ordinary evening in New Jersey turned tragic when Locane drove with a blood alcohol level significantly above the legal limit. Witnesses observed her speeding and driving erratically before she collided with the vehicle of Helen and Fred Seaman as they were turning into their driveway. The crash resulted in the death of 60-year-old Helen Seaman and left her husband with severe injuries. The incident sent ripples through the entertainment industry and beyond. In court, Locane expressed profound remorse, acknowledging the suffering and loss her actions had caused. Nonetheless, prosecutors highlighted the extreme recklessness of her behavior, arguing that the tragedy was entirely avoidable. Her initial sentence of 3 years in prison faced widespread criticism for being too lenient given the fatal consequences. Over the following decade, the legal battle continued with multiple appeals and resentencing hearings. Ultimately, in 2020, Locane's prison sentence was increased to 8 years to better reflect the gravity of the crime. Amy Locane's story serves as a stark reminder of how one reckless choice driving under the influence can irrevocably alter lives in an instant. Number 14. Sean Diddy Combs, once a towering figure in music and fashion, built a legacy of power and success. Known for launching major hip-hop careers and expanding into acting and business, his empire symbolized luxury and ambition. However, that image is now under fire. On September 16, 2024, Combs was arrested in New York and charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transporting individuals for prostitution. A sweeping indictment dating back to 2009 accuses him of leading a criminal enterprise that manipulated and coerced women through drugs, threats, and psychological abuse. Evidence from raids on his properties reportedly includes weapons, large quantities of lubricants, and testimonies detailing disturbing acts of coercion. Diddy has pleaded not guilty, with his legal team asserting that he is the target of a politically motivated attack and that the allegations are false. Despite pleading not guilty, Combs was denied bail and held at the Metropolitan Detention Center under close watch. As of April 2025, the case is ongoing, drawing significant public and media attention. If convicted, he faces a potential sentence of 15 years to life in prison, casting a shadow over a once-celebrated career in music. Number 15. Mark Salling, best known for his role as Noah Puckerman on the hit TV show Glee, faced a dramatic fall from grace due to his involvement in a serious criminal case. In 2015, Salling was arrested after authorities received a tip that led to the discovery of over 50 images and videos of child pornography on his electronic devices. The evidence was overwhelming, and in 2017 he entered a plea agreement admitting guilt to possession of child pornography. As part of the deal, he was expected to serve a prison sentence ranging from 4 to 7 years, register as a sex offender, and adhere to strict post-release conditions. The case garnered widespread media attention, not only because of Salling's celebrity status, but also due to the disturbing nature of the charges. His sentencing was scheduled for March 2018, but the actor never served his time. Tragically, Salling was found dead in January 2018, just weeks before his court appearance. Authorities ruled his death a suicide, marking a grim end to a deeply troubling chapter. And that brings us to the end of today's journey. Thank you so much for being here and spending your time with us. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to All Profiles so you won't miss a single story about your favorite stars. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again real soon.